Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to the video, and today we're going to be talking about Lasswell, Vision, Pyro Glacial Lasswell, whatever you want to call him, CD Lasswell, because that's a little confusing because there's so many of them now, right? So, I guess we'll just call him Pyro Glacial Lasswell in Vision version. And I saw some people said they wanted to know more about him or talk about him some more, or build him and all those kind of things. So, for those of you who wanted this kind of video, please leave a like and make sure you let me know if you like this kind of content or not. And before we get into this video, make sure you give some likes even if you don't like this kind of content. Make sure you let me know if you want to see a New Vision Lasswell destroys everything kind of video. So smash that MF like, I said it wrong. Smash that MF like button and let me know if you guys want to see it or not. Anyways, on with the video. So we're going to talk about how to build him, the faults of building him, how to work around it, and all the kind of things we need to talk about. So let's get into it. So first of all, there is a flaw in his kit already, as you can see. You have to equip his STMR or his TMR, which honestly both options are not very good. But I think the weapon slot is actually the lesser of two evils, because at least in the materia slot, you're not wasting something that does absolutely almost nothing for you. Because as you can see here, we need these two spots here. Sure, you could swap out this for two accessories down here, but this gives more attack. This is Onion Knight's STMR, CG Onion Knight's Awakened Onion Knight, whatever you want to call it. And since there's an oversight and they didn't fix it in his normal form, unfortunately, he can only dual wield katanas and great swords, and what that means is basically now he can't equip some killer weapons, which I faced last night with Extreme Antonella, where I wanted to equip the Ancient Sword from Tiamat, and I was not able to do that in his normal form, unfortunately. But as you can see here, they corrected it in his his Brave Shift form, that you can actually equip, you can actually dual wield any weapon that he can select, of course, any of these. So it's not just limited to, one thing or the other. That's good. That's good. Which also leaves a big detriment of you have to have specific killers, because unfortunately he actually has no ice imbue in his kit itself. He has no ice imbue in any of these moves. To my knowledge, I looked on the wiki, there was nothing there for ice imbue. So unfortunately, if you want to equip an ice weapon here, now you're losing out on potential killer weapons. So killer weapons are really essential as well. So you guys are seeing how we were struggling with damage with the Antonella fight, and now since he has no imbues in his normal form, you have to wait until the ice. You have to wait until they get the ice imbue in his spray shift form. But the beauty of that is, the unfortunate thing is you're going to do a lot less damage unless you have someone to imbue for you. But the beautiful thing is, in his Brave Shift form, he actually has an ice imbue, which, if you're able to, last long enough in the fight, you can actually just imbue yourself. I believe this is it. Yeah. And it'll last for 5 turns, as you can see here. So, what the trick of it is, at the last turn that you're gonna change back to normal, you want to use this move. You want to put this in your rotation, because then when you shift back over to your normal form, you'll be ice imbued. And the good thing is that his normal form has Ice Imperils, 120%. In one of these moves. There it is. So he has, I don't know why he has fire. He has no way of dealing fire damage. So yeah, he has a way of imperiling for ice. So now you shifted back to your normal form after brave shifting and doing all your damage. Now you're ice imbued. Hopefully you don't die. And you'll be ready to go, because you'll be having those imperils back up, and you'll be doing a colossal amount of damage. So it's really good. And really, that's kind of the way you kind of have to go about things. And hopefully you're just able to fit someone in that can imbue him for a short time. And killer weapons are very crucial and important. Unfortunately, sometimes maybe I overvalue them a little bit, to the point where I'm not even equipping an elemental weapon onto mine. But sacrificing a little bit of damage for the first few turns, I think, is what I wanted to do. in the Antonella video, so I sacrificed a few turns for the damage, and then I hit big when I went to his normal form, or his Brave Shift form. Wow, I'm messing up big time here. So basically, you just want to, in this Brave Shift form, of course, you want to equip as many killers as you can for, well, the percent at 300% of what you're fighting. You want to focus on that for sure. In his normal form, you can't be as picky about it. You have to be more generous because, of course, as we talked about the dual wield problem, since you can't equip anything other than great swords and katanas, that leaves swords out. And a lot of the weapons that you want to equip are swords. So that's really unfortunate. Like, this would be great to have if you wanted to do that. It's not a killer weapon, but still. And yeah, there's a lot of certain weapons and things you would want to equip that are swords. Sometimes, I mean, there's a lot of great swords in here too. But yeah, killer weapons are pretty good to have, so just remember the biggest trick, guys. Tyson View on that last turn, because it's really important. You really need to do that. And on his Brave Shift form turns, he does mad damage because he has a 96 times mod here, and for one time only, so you really want to use this as well when you're about to, you know, strike big. I'm going to go ahead and do this, of course, because this is a 120 times modifier move, which you can only use one time, but it's worth it. You just have to use it properly. Similar to how, like, Zyrus on the global side, you can only use this cooldown or his Magnus ability one time to get those mod buffs. Similar to this, you will want to use this at the best moment possible, not just use it right away, because that would not be so good. You want to use this when you know you're going to do a lot of damage, not when the boss has like a bunch of. You don't want to do this, of course, when the boss has like mitigation up that you can't dispel or anything like that. You don't want to do that. But in this form, he has dual wield of all kinds, like we mentioned, and on top of that, his own burst is a little different, and on top of that, he actually has 300% attack buff, which you saw my Antonella video I did, which was pretty good. He actually has AoE, but it's not good. It's just something to clear mobs, I guess. I mean, since this is a Brave Shift form, I'm probably not going to be using that at all, really. This is very niche, and he does have a lot of Dragon Killer in this form, I think 150%, so really easy to build him for Dragon Killer. If you're fighting a dragon, they're not going to like this guy coming to the battlefield, that's for sure. And of course, he has 100% true dual wield and a lot of other things that they fixed. So overall, I think that he is extremely good, and since he is so old, most people on the global side should have at least a few laying around. I'm not saying that you guys are like loaded on rainbows or anything like that, but like he's an old unit that you're probably gonna, you know, encounter from EX tickets from time to time and things like that, and I hope that you guys can get him because he is the free-to-play hero. He is the champion of free-to-play because in his Brave Shift form he has innate dual wield, and you don't have to waste. Unlike in his normal form, you have to kind of waste this unless you want to build him a little differently. Because this gets in the way. Just imagine if his STMR was like an accessory or something instead. That would not get in the way too much, because then you'd be able to equip a killer weapon, maybe an ice weapon or something in here instead. But unfortunately, this STMR doesn't really do anything, and his TMR does not even less. His TMR does even less. So I chose the lesser of two evils there. Anyways, I think we're rambling out a little too much. What you really want to do is just hold out until you can do your Brave Shift form. Is my philosophy here. Because I'm sure he has triple cast innately and you can do a lot of damage here, but the problem is not being able to like imbue himself unless you have someone with him, someone who can do that for you. But his damage is still very high in this when you're level 5. 49 times mod with ignore defense, so that's pretty strong in the imperils. He also gets a lot of modifiers to a lot of things, and this is not. Is this completed? I don't know if this is complete or not. It might be. I think it is. It gives limited modifiers to older moves, and most of them are his useless one-hit moves and things that you're never going to use. But it's still there. It's still there, and you can also use this as well, 60 times mod, which is pretty strong. But I mean, come on, nothing compares to his 96 times mod that you can triple cast permanently. for the next few turns. You can just keep doing this over and over again, and it's really powerful, as you guys saw. So hopefully this video helped you out. You really want to focus on killers with this guy. You want to maximize your killers. You want to, you know, maximize your effectiveness and get your MP up and get all those kind of things up. And if you feel like you don't want, if you have killers for other things that you can equip, that you don't have to equip with weapon for, then I would definitely highly recommend equipping an ice weapon onto him, onto his normal form, so then you don't lose as much damage. Because some people are maybe more fortunate than me. They have a lot more killer materials and other things that they may have that I do not. Because there's still a whole bunch of stuff that I don't have. So with that being said, guys, I think we're about wrapping it up here. And I spoke for 10 minutes over. This felt like a 5-minute video that turned into a 10-minute video. I'm sorry about that, guys. So if you have any other questions about Lasswell, please let me know in the comment section down below. Remember to give that a like. And if you want to see this guy destroy everything, a spotlight video, make sure to leave a like. I normally don't say this, but I've researched that some YouTubers said that this is sometimes you should do this to make sure people are, you know, paying attention and want to see certain content. So if you really want to see it, please let me know by clicking that thumbs up button at the top of the screen there, or I guess on the bottom of the screen. Whoops. Anyways, guys, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. #Lasswell.